said that the mother was absolutely thrilled of the tabloid coverage. Number one, because they mentioned her name. Bitch, they ain't mentioned your name. They just said her mammy. Called 911.
Hello, black hole. See this brother winning, man. Hey, hey, look, it is a win, babe. It is a win, too. It is a win, babe.
If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky would be our Michelle Red Lip. And if you are not already a part of our book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Mariah. Y'all, I know her name is Mariah, but I'm from DC, goddammit. Okay, the thick of it, okay? Mariah Carey. And so that night in Westchester, she called the cops on me too. The police arrived quickly, as they tend to do in white, affluent neighborhoods. My mother opened the door. I heard an officer ask, "Is there a problem, ma'am?" "Yes, we are having a problem," she replied, welcoming the two white policemen into the house. I could tell they kind of recognized me, though. I was still in quite a state and looked it. I had been passed out sleep for the first time in nearly a week. In a tumultuous, emotional whirlwind, I had quickly put my hair into a bun. I had on leggings and a t-shirt, as one would in one's home when one is trying to rest. I had somewhat pulled it together because that's what you do when there are police involved. But I didn't have on my superstar mask, which is how almost everyone knows me, except for the lambs, of course. Without all the wardrobe and the glam, I did appear troubled and perhaps a little wild and unwell. What's her superstar mask? Makeup? Is that what she's saying? Girl, all the officers were technically in my house. Their attention was directed towards my mother. She gave them an odd, knowing look, which felt like the equivalent of a secret society handshake, some sort of a white woman in distress cop code. She had been defied, and I had dared to be belligerent. I was being aggressive towards her. I was scaring her, and they received her signal loud and clear. Even Mariah Carey couldn't compete with a nameless white woman in distress. God damn. Y'all, I need another break. Hold on. I need another break. I'm back. Oh my God, this book is wearing me out, y'all. I just did not know what this girl was going through with her family, y'all. This is so intense that I have to take breaks. My brother had lured me back into the same depths of dysfunction that he, my sister, and my mom had dwelled in when I was a child. My mother had stolen me from my sleep, then turned me over to the authorities. There was nothing left to do but surrender. I agreed to be removed from my own home by the police with one simple request, that I be allowed to put on my shoes. My family might have taken my pride, my trust, and the last of my energy, but they weren't going to get my dignity too. Oh girl, they got your dignity, baby. They got your dignity when they call the police on you in your own house, child. That's your dignity. You paid for that house for your mammy to sleep in, and then now she gonna call the police on you in the house that you paid for her to sleep in. I slipped on some heels, mules, most likely needed. My ponytail, slapped on some lip gloss, and got in the back seat of the squad car. Being hauled off by cops was certainly no comfort, but I was defeated and needed to get away by any means necessary. The firm seat cushions, and the bulletproof protection inside the car provided a twisted sense of security. My body was reminded that it was still in critical need of rest. Morgan slid into the back seat next to me. I looked at him, empty of everything, unable to accept what my family had just done to me. I couldn't believe it. I had to outsource my pain to put the blame on a substitute villain. In a daze, I whispered, "This is all Tommy Mottola's fault." Morgan's eyes narrowed, and he flashed that sinister smile. Again, "That's right," he nodded. "That's right." We drove off into the darkness. That night, I did not have a breakdown. I was broken down by the very people who were supposed to keep me whole. I knew of a place that locals called a spa. That was very close, and I asked the police if they would take me there. They obliged. I wasn't familiar with the services or reputation of the place, but I figured at the very least I could finally get some sleep, some nutritious food, and perhaps some medical attention. After all I'd been through, I was very concerned about my physical condition. I knew enough to know I needed healing from the compounded trauma I had just experienced. My body was there, but my mind, my emotions, and my spirit were all powered down in what I now realize was protection mode. I remember getting out of the squad car and pacing in the parking lot, knowing I didn't belong in that place. But I didn't belong at my family's house either. I didn't know where I belonged. After a long and groggy battle, Morgan convinced me to go inside. I could feel nothing. I signed myself in, believing I could sign myself out. I had no idea what I had actually signed myself up for. I was led to a small room at the end of a hall. I perceived it as windowless, though it most likely was not. There was a bed I curled up tight on top of it. Terror came quickly. Terror came quickly. Don't forget, y'all, anything with an R in it, if you're from DC, we gonna fuck it up. So don't be mad at me. If it got an R in it, we gonna mess it up. Like Mariah. The next day came. I was far from rested or clear-headed, but I was no longer totally numb. I knew I was in need of a healing, peace, therapy, food, rest, and restoration. I needed care, and the rash decision to come to the closest place possible had clearly not been the right one. I was bombarded with frantic thoughts. Where's my purse? Wait a minute. Hold on. 2 minutes. You at the Safeway. You pass out. You wake up. Oh, where's my purse? I think that's just something that is instilled in us women. Now, I feel like it's instilled in black women all the time, but white women, is that what happens with you? Because I know me. I have been crazy trained to look out for your purse. The first thing you do, where's my purse? Where's my purse? Where's all my stuff? What the F am I doing in this terrible random place sharing a bathroom I'm too scared to pee in? How did I get out of here? While my memories of interaction with staff and other patients are mostly vague, I distinctly recall being brought into a bare little office that felt like a police interrogation room, where an older, balding, white administrator conducted a haphazard interview intake. Not only was he not caring, but he was hostile. "Looks like you need a dose of humility," was his condescending response to all I had told him. Oh, he thoroughly enjoyed spitting out that line. She had broke down everything that was happening to her from beginning to end. The therapist, because after a while, when you're dealing with the same kind of person over and over again, you become desensitized. And me being a former probation officer, when I tell you I had become horrifically desensitized, okay? I still had a caring spirit, but it was like I wouldn't accept excuses. Okay, that was the thing that I would say as a PO got under my nerves the worst, was excuses. Wait a minute, I don't give a fuck if your dog died today. I don't give a fuck. You needed to go pee and take that urine. You had all day to pee, baby. all day. And I ain't heard about this damn dog until today. All right. So it does make you desensitized and somewhat callous. And I believe that the therapist was looking at Mariah Carey like, poor superstar. The world just doesn't understand you, does it? And he used that opportunity to smash Mariah Carey, because he probably ain't never had that opportunity before to take someone who is in a higher position than him and make them feel lower than him. Child, he probably was rubbing one out later on that night, thinking about how he disrespected that woman. I went to try to sign myself out, but to my horror, I discovered that I couldn't. I don't know what my brother told the staff, but people were treating me like I was out of control and out of my mind, and most seemed to be enjoying it. It took several days of red tape and paperwork to get out. I knew Morgan and my mother had been communicating, and I strongly believe they orchestrated the whole thing. I returned to the scene of no crime, my mother's house. Correction, my house. Coincidentally, there were paparazzi waiting in the woods to greet me. The cover of the next day's New York Post was a photo of me shot with a long lens through the trees in pajamas, with little dark sunglasses and a messy bun, sipping juice through a straw. The photo was emblazoned with a giant caption, world exclusive, Mariah, the first photo. My mother was thrilled. She exclaimed, "Look, it's just like Marilyn Monroe." It wasn't. The Daily News cover even gave her a mention. Mariah's crack up, mother's desperate 911 call as a diva unraveled. When I went back to the house to retrieve my things with my road manager, mother in a drab house dress was sitting on the floor of the porch in the rain, playing jacks in what appeared to be a trance. It kind of freaked my road manager out. What pathetic irony. Now, she said that the mother was absolutely thrilled of the tabloid coverage. Number one, because they mentioned her name. Bitch, they ain't mentioned your name. They just said her mammy called 911. Because Mariah felt like her mother had a sense of jealousy towards her career, because remember, her mother is a trained opera singer and her career never took off because of the choices she made to have children. Okay, that's not my fault. All right, you can't be mad at someone. Like, let me say this. I've had people in my life who were so jealous of my freedom that what they would do is treat me bad. It was not my choice to have children. I knew that was something that I did not want to do. They decided to have children. So because they decided to have children, secretly they had a stewing jealousy inside of them. And it showed in how they treated me. They did things to put like a monkey wrench in my freedom. So sometimes people's jealousy towards you will turn into sabotage. Word. Her glee at the tabloid coverage was no surprise to me. Even though I was the child who didn't break the rules or laws or bottles, my mother didn't seem to have the capacity to fully celebrate me as I matured into an accomplished artist. Sometimes I wondered if she couldn't even tolerate my achievements. I often felt like there was an undertow of jealousy pulling on her smile, though I still included her in many of the major events in my life. Child, that don't matter. You could probably buy that person a Bentley, okay? Brand new Bentley, a $300,000 or $1 million house, $300,000 car. You can't buy away jealousy. Being Mariah Carey is a job, my job, and I had to get back to it. I knew there would be eyes and lenses everywhere. I needed someone to light the way out of the darkness that place had become. By that time, I trusted only a handful of people. So before I was able to see my way out of the shadowy cabin in the woods, I called on my trusted friend and anchor makeup artist Christopher Buckle for support. He lifted me up, reapplied my protective public face, and walked with me into the sunlight. I was wounded, but I got myself back to my penthouse in Manhattan. There was so much recovery and repair to be done. I was still quite fragile, very concerned with the condition of my very new, very big deal at Virgin and very short time away from the release of glitter. The pedestal I'd erected for my brother when I was a little girl had long since been reduced to rubble. But I kept trying to place him back on top of that pedestal. Girl, you better say it. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves, you babies, y'all better have a good one. Peace.